here's what I want to share with all of you. Those of you who are not in CBF, just join it. What is it costing you not to solve your business problems? People say I'm going to save money and join later. It's like, I mean, imagine that you were diagnosed with a very curable form of fast growing cancer. Would you say, well, let me just save up? I don't want to go into debt to cure my cancer. No, you'd go sell something and go get your treatment. It's the same thing with your business. Don't wait till later. You're going to be further behind than you would be if you wait till later. None of the people that have joined CBF were doing great when they joined. They were all struggling. Everyone was struggling financially, but now you have a group of people that have achieved levels they had never been able to achieve in their business before, or couldn't achieve it and stay consistently at that level. It's never happened. And we have the largest group of mop-free millionaires I have ever seen in one single place by percentage of industry business owners. And so there is something that we're doing right. And if you spent years doing it wrong, you're not going to figure it out on your own. None of us did. You have to get help. But it's amazing how quickly people turn their businesses around. Some of our CBF members right here today, tell us how long it took you to double or triple your investment in CBF. Was it a month? Was it 2 months, 3 months? We have CBF members that 10x'd their investment the first year. I'm talking 10x'd. What they spent to be in the program, they made 10 times more within a 12-month period of time. Oh, there we go. Here we got some mop-free people right here. Highly recommend this, says Mike. Thank you, Mike. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, friend. Highly recommend it, says Mike. Thank you. That is a very wonderful endorsement. Amanda says, mop free. That's one of the things we shout in CBF. And I got my green jacket on today. That's what you get when you become a mop-free millionaire. You get your green jacket. Erica says, less than a year, right about 7 months. They made back their investment. How many times over? Probably more than once. Amanda, doubled in 6 months. Hello. What is that worth to your business if you doubled in 6 months? She probably paid for CBF 3 to 4 times during that 6 months. And now it's just gravy train, people. Let's see who else said something. Taylor says mop free. Love that. I see Faith is in the house. Hey, Faith. Hello. Charles is in the house. Amy is in the house. So, I mean, so many great results. Oh, here we go. Samaria, 4 times within the investment. 4 times within the investment. I can almost guarantee you, if I offered a double your money back refund to any of these people that implemented the CBF systems, if I could erase their brain and they didn't know any of it, if I offered them double their money back, I believe every one of them who have implemented, now people that take courses and never follow through, they would be like, yeah, I'll take double. But anybody that implemented what they learned, I guarantee you, if I said, would you like double your money back? And I can erase your brain and you will have learned nothing. You have to go back to where you were. I don't believe a single CBF member that has actually implemented even some of our structures would take double their money back. In fact, most of them that have implemented carefully and strategically wouldn't take 10 times their money back. They wouldn't. So, and I realize I'm speaking, there we go. No way. Exactly. Jamie is in the house. I can't even count over 13 years. Exactly, Jamie. Jamie bought an existing business. Her investment could have been completely wasted if she didn't have the CBF formula to turn her investment into millions. Because most people who buy a cleaning business fail because all they have is a name and a logo and a list of customers and a handful of employees. They don't have a system that's proven to make them money and help them live better and scale big. So yeah, thank you, Jane, Coach Jamie. And see, now Jamie Reeder is a coach. She's built such a successful business. She has enough time to help you guys. Isn't that fun? It's just so amazing, such a blessing. Samaria says, those who put in the work see the amazing results. Exactly, Samaria. Now, you can't buy somebody's course and just wait for the easy button to emerge. But I promise you, it is the predictable button. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. It is the predictable button. There's no such thing as the easy button. The people selling the easy button have tiny businesses and are ripping you off. Don't waste your time or your money. Jamie says, I love coaching. Coaching is so much fun. It is absolutely so fun to finally have a business that works so well. You have the time to go help other people and help them experience the joy of success, which is just one of the most rewarding things on the planet that we do. Amy Bellinger says CBF for life. I love that because Amy's been in a lot of programs, right? Because her and Rose believe in investing in themselves. They're not the type of people that want to just go figure everything else on their own and do everything the hard way. They want to be successful faster and better. And they've taken a lot of other courses and they say CBF for life. Why? It works. It is a turnkey formula. It is simple to follow. There are only literally 6 structures you must fix in your business, not 10, not 12, not 100 like most people feel, 6. And once we show you what those 6 are and how to fix them, and we hold your hand as you fix them, you too can get into momentum. You too can get into CBF Advanced Pros. You too could eventually get into CBF Elites. We keep building more advanced programs because our CBF members keep outgrowing the industry programs that are available. Nobody ever expected this kind of success from residential cleaning business owners. So are you guys ready to hear some names? Are you ready to hear some names? If you are ready to hear some names, I need you to type into the comments right now, I'm ready. I'm ready. Because if I don't think you're ready, I am not going to read those names. This is your drum roll, please moment. Who's ready? If you're ready to hear some names, type in, I'm ready. All right. I see a few coming through. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's get it. All right. Now there we go. There we go. They're coming through. Now, the rest of you just type in ... and hit enter. That's drum roll. Drum roll is ... So drum roll, please. Are you ready? All right, let me share my screen. I'm going to read the names, but I'm also going to show you the names so that, let's see here, make sure I find the names. Where the heck are the names? It's a little tricky how this works. Okay, there it is. There it is. There it is. I'm not as familiar with StreamYard as I am Zoom. Okay, great response. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right, are you guys ready? Okay, so I'm going to read our brand new CBF. Let me fix that. Are you ready? Let me just keep you in suspense another minute. I'm so mean. Here we go. I wanted to bump it up and make sure it's large enough that you can see the names as I read them. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance. I might butcher a name or two simply because it's just hard sometimes to say some of these hard names. And I understand how you feel when somebody mispronounces your name. I misspelled my husband's name on our wedding invitations. We've got one of those names. Everybody says it wrong when they read it, and everybody spells it wrong when you say it. So I committed the cardinal sin. I had all of our wedding invitations with my new name as a married woman spelled wrong. Here, he had his whole life. People either said his name wrong or spelled it wrong, and his fiance gets it wrong on the wedding invitations. I am not the one to proofread anything on the planet. I can tell you that much right now. Okay, enough delay. Let's share some names. So here's the name. Oops, darn it. I lost my place here. Here's some names. Let's see here. Cleaning Business Profits. Let me get back in there. It says now playing. Okay. Come on. Get up there. Why can't I get up? There we go. Hang on, guys. I'm just trying to bring it back. There we go. There we go. Okay. Thank you for the drum rolls. Smooth move. Yeah. So I'm going to read the names as best I can, and I'm going to apologize in advance if I do a bad job. But this is the largest lineup of CBF pros we've ever had. The first year we rolled this out. So I believe this is year 5. And if anybody knows differently, please correct me. If you were the very first, I think Chrissia is on here, and they might have been in the first CBF pros. If this is year 4, correct me, but I think this is year 5. Anybody that knows for sure, type it into the comments. Just type in year 5. But I think this will be year 5 for CBF pros. When we first launched CBF pros, I had a threshold requirement because I know the conversations change when you get to a certain level. And I know 93% of all residential cleaning businesses are not at $500,000. So there's this small group of lonely people out there that need to have higher level conversations, but almost nobody is ready for those higher level conversations. That was why I started CBF Pros. And so we said, okay, that threshold is at $500,000 and above. $500,000 and above, you have to be at $500,000 and above with at least 2 people on your leadership team, right? You got to have at least 2 people on your leadership team, because the conversations you have in the CBF Pros group is not really about fixing your broken business. Where do I find employees? How do I keep good employees? How do I improve my quality? How do I train my staff? No, we deal with all of that in CBF Essentials and CBF Momentum, where you keep tweaking and fixing, tightening the bolt, tightening the bolt, tightening the bolt until it works, till it's a well-oiled, systemized machine that's profitable and is no longer chaotic, where the owner doesn't work all the time. The owner finally has money freedom and time freedom, right? That's what we do in CBF Essentials that first year, and CBF Momentum, which you could stay in for several years and even be at $1 million in momentum, but you're still fixing things that are broken. But at CBF Pros, we're not really spending much time at all fixing what's broken. We're really spending time developing the leader and helping the leader learn how to develop the leadership team. See, it's a different conversation because you have a new devil at every level. That's what the CBF Pros started out as. And you know what? That group kept growing. The first year we had it, I was afraid we wouldn't have enough people. Thank you, Chrissia. Yes, 5 years. This is our 5th year. I was afraid we would not have enough people to even squeak in at the 500,000 mark, because we had lost track of a lot of our most successful members. I didn't have another program for them to continue forward, and they were chasing other people's programs, right? And so we weren't sure. So we started our first year with CBF Pros, and $500,000 was the starting point. And that's where we are still at. If you get to $500,000 and have at least 2 people on your leadership team, and you've come through the CBF program, you have to upgrade from Momentum. You cannot upgrade from any other place in our program. You must upgrade from Momentum when we have open enrollment. Then you qualify for CBF Pros. All right, I've stalled long enough. Here's the list of names. I'm so excited. CBF Pros 2023. Mario Alvarez and Eloise Alvarez, Danielle Anderson, Amy Ballinger and Rose Manning, Jessica Bello, Jody Carroll, Tammy Caveney, Jane Cecino, Amanda Childress, Josh Davis, Hannah Dew, Renee Dickinson, Joanne Eichorts, David Elam, Eric Ems and Debbie Ems, Stephanie Hathaway, Amanda Holt, Sarah Houghton, Teresa Kolbus, Tatiana Kolchevet, Ashley Korshak, Jeannie Kulan, Alicia Lewis, and Joanne Bracchio, Liliana Lima, Taylor Matthews, Morris McRae, Kathy Merchant, Marianne Miller, Donnie Minchillo, Tether Morris, Wendy Nellett, Jessica Knopf, Amanda Owens, Steve Perry, Dawn Phillips and Leonard Phillips, Eva Plusinek and Maruz Zaleski, Linda Rabenberg, Stephanie Ramsey, Samaria Ritchie, and Johnny Ritchie, Juliana Roca, Tiffany Roos and Charles Roos, Cecilia Reyes, Sally Rodriguez, Jenanaya Sampaio, Amber Sherberg, Stephanie Scott, Lisa Shaw, Lisa Siciliano, and Glenn Edens, Teresa Spiroff, Mary Stevens, Bobby Taylor, Lynn Tholey, and Deborah Vetter. Can you guys please give them a hand? This is such an incredible, illustrious group. I'm so proud of them. It's just hard to believe. Let's see if I can scroll. Hang on. Where did it go? There it is. Oops. Hide. Let me go back. Give them a hand. Isn't that an incredible group right there? And some of our CBF pros, they are renewing pros. They have already been in the CBF pros 2 and 3 years, and maybe even 4 years. And they are now placed in our advanced pros cohorts because they're at $1 million, or they're at 750,000, or they're at 1.1 million, or 900,000. They're way past 500,000. So we have cohorts, especially for those that have been a CBF pro for several years. I was going to spot some of them here. I saw Marianne Miller, and let's see here. I think Steve Perry was a pro last year. But let me start calling out those that I knew. Morris McRae. So Morris McRae is already at $1 million. Most of our CBF pros that have been in it for 2 and 3 years are renewing, and they're way past $500,000. Tatiana again, Teresa again, Stephanie again, so David Elam, so Joanne, Icorse Williams again. So we have so many of our advanced CBF pros that will be in. And Tammy, a returning pro, they will be in our CBF pros advanced cohort groups, because even at the pro level, they're having different conversations. It's just so incredible. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to need another drum roll, please. Are you ready? I am ready to share with you. In fact, let me figure out how to change screens. Let's see here. I'm going to remove that. And let me switch screens. Are you ready to hear who our CBF 2023 elite members are? We actually had our first 3-day in-person intensive training Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. My brain is fried. It was so amazing to spend 3 full days with our CBF elite members. And I can't wait for our pros to end up in the elites. I can't wait for our momentum members to end up in the pros. And I can't wait for our CBF essential members to ascend into momentum, and then pros, and then elites. I am telling you, this is the most powerful group of cleaning business owners on the planet. So are you ready? Let me read some names to you. CBF Elites 2023. A very small group, but an incredibly motivated group. Emma Arzate, Pamela Brewington, Derek Christian, Libby DeLucian, Angel Dersler, Lynette Malone, Beth Eldridge, Jeannie Henderson, Nicole Hubbard, John LeBaron, Chrissia Hagg, Molly Moran, Jamie Reeder, Tim Ross, Kelly Ross, excuse me, Stacy Weiland, Carmine White, Adrian White. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your CBF Elites 2023. These are your CBF Buff Elites. Buff Elites. Isn't that exciting? I'm telling you, I am so proud to read these names. And here's what makes me the most proud. Let me just say this. Here's what makes me more proud than anything. Most of the names on this list, not all of them, but most of the names on this list were ready to close their doors when they invested in CBF if it didn't work. They were fed up. They knew they were advanced leaders. They knew they were made for more. They knew that their skills were above making a tiny paycheck and working all the time, or making a decent paycheck and working all the time, but having unbelievable stress and too much employee turnover and limitations on their ability to scale and grow, right? Most of the people in our elite group were ready to go do something else. In fact, Coach Molly Moran tells a story how she was just scrolling through job ads. She was thinking about going back to the nonprofit world because she was fed up with a business that didn't serve her. Because you are in business not to serve your business. You are in business for your business to serve you, your lifestyle, your income needs, and your family. That's why you're in business. And she was literally scrolling through Facebook looking for a career change and going back to the nonprofit world. Now, I'm in the nonprofit world. I understand the nonprofit world. Unless you have been asked to lead one of the largest nonprofits in the world, like Komen or the American Red Cross, working for the nonprofit world generally means you're going to work for a tiny paycheck. But she probably felt like, you know what, if I'm not going to make a lot of money, I ought to do something that really has meaning and matters. Well, I can tell you right now for 100% certainty that Molly Moran is so thrilled she did not quit. She joined CBF and she built one of the largest maid services in the country. She was ready to walk away from her dream of being an entrepreneur and go back to working for somebody else. And she has literally built one of the largest maid services in the United States. She's in the top 1% because at the CBF elite level, the minimum threshold to get into the elite, are you ready? Drum roll, please. You guys want to know? What is the minimum threshold of revenue? And that's residential revenue, not all the other revenue verticals that a business can have, right? You can have a very messy, broken, chaotic business and do millions of dollars because if you add high revenue verticals, it makes your revenue look bigger, but you're not necessarily making more or living better. So our requirement is a very high, about 80% of your revenue needs to be coming from year-round residential cleaning, not commercial, not post-construction. So not janitorial commercial, residential, not janitorial construction. Those are different verticals. They tend to have high volume, low profits, and they aren't necessarily as strong of an indication as a large residential cleaning business in terms of leadership acumen and development and scale. And so the requirement is 80% of your revenues have to be coming from year-round residential cleaning, and you have to be at $1.5 million and above. 1.5 million and above is the minimum threshold to get into the elites. Well, that puts you in the top 1% of all residential cleaning companies. Even franchises struggle to get their franchisees even to $1 million. Right? And they're supposed to have the secret formula. Even franchises struggle to get their franchisees to $1 million. Why? Because it's not about how good your brand is or how great your logo is or how many cars you have wrapped. It's not. It is not about marketing. Marketing is the easiest piece of this business. It is about scale, quality of life, profitability, time freedom. And all of those things are what we excel at with the CBF way. the CBF system. We actually don't do business like any other maid service on the planet unless they've come through CBF. Now, there's a few former CBF members out there, some even teaching workshops and classes that fix their business using my CBF formula. But this is the most unique formula on the planet. There isn't another franchise or maid service out there that hasn't taken CBF that follows this unique 6-step formula for growth, ease of operations, high profits, high employee retention. High employee retention. You cannot grow a cleaning business past a certain size if all you're doing is replacing the last 2 to 3 that quit. You can't. And I know this for a fact because I've helped hundreds of people who were stuck there. Wherever you are, wherever you've been stuck for a while, it isn't because you're not good at marketing in all likelihood. Now, that could be one of your pain points. But in most cases, wherever you got stuck, whether it was in the field helping cleaners because you're still cleaning as an owner, that's ridiculous. Or it's at 5 employees and it's, hire 2 quit, hire 1 quits, 5 employees. If you're stuck at 10 employees or 12, wherever you're stuck, you cannot grow past stuck if all you're doing is replacing the last employee who quit or replacing the employee who's working out their notice. And we are masters at mastering that problem. It is one of the key components of the CBF formula. And no, you can't really understand it or apply it correctly just because you heard somebody else say they're following it. Because if you don't understand the entire system, you won't know how to apply it correctly. It's a very unique formula. Let me read some of your comments. So I just want to congratulate our CBF elites. So what you have done, CBF elites, is you have inspired every cleaning business owner right now that's thinking about quitting, that is considering giving up, that is thinking about changing careers, that is actually considering walking away because they know nobody would even want to buy their broken mess, or thinking about selling, right? The CBF elites and the CBF pros, you can pat yourself on the back because you have inspired a whole group of people to realize, oh my goodness, I remember when she used to post on Facebook how miserable she was. She's in the pros. I remember when she moved and kept her business open, Stephanie, and went and started over living in the place she'd always wanted to live in, buying her dream home, the most incredible oasis backyard you've ever seen. And starting over with confidence, knowing this time I have a formula for success. And not only did she start over and have 2 locations, she's advanced so far, she's in the CBF Pros, her 2nd year in a row. Stephanie, who does that in our industry? Almost nobody. Almost nobody. It's incredible. It is possible for you. None of us have superpowers. None of us have gifts and talents that are extreme. I mean, okay, there may be a few, to be honest with you. Jessica's probably one of those, right? Jessica's probably one of those extreme talents, but most of us are just kind of average at what we know and our IQ and our emotional intelligence. Most of us. I don't have a PhD. I barely made it out of high school alive. Okay? So most of us are just kind of average. We have a few that are above average. I've snagged them as CBF coaches. Those people are above average. But you can be relatively average with an amazing system that works and become a multimillionaire. Most of our CBF elites are already working on their $2 million business. Most of them. Mine is at $3 million. So most of our CBF elite members and our CBF pro members would tell you, I'm kind of average. I'm not like a superhuman, but the system I follow is not average. And that's the difference. And I can't take credit for it. I can't say, aren't I brilliant? I created the system. Now I did perfect it. I'll take credit for that. But I paid $40,000 to learn what I teach what I now call the CBF way, the CBF system, or the CBF EOS, right? The CBF OS. But it's easier for me to say the CBF way. I paid $40,000 for that system of business when my business was a broken mess and I couldn't get to $1 million to save my soul. And I wasn't profitable and I was miserable and I worked long hours and my employees turned over like crazy and they walked all over me because they knew I wouldn't fire them no matter how many absences they called in absent, no matter how rude they were to me or my staff. They knew I couldn't fire them. And I hired a firm to show me the way. And I took that system they taught me in that 2-week period of time and I applied it and I got to $1 million 9 months later. And I built a multi-million-dollar business using that system as the framework, but then over the last 25 years, adding tools and forms and documents and additional systems to literally have a turnkey business in a box that's better than a franchise. Better than a franchise because there's no rules or royalties. The only rule I have is don't blame me if you don't follow my stuff. That's the only rule I have. You make the investment, I'm not going to come knock on your door and yell at you if you don't follow it. In fact, we lovingly accept CBF members that have kind of dropped out of sight, stopped following the program and went backwards and started chasing other people that don't know what they're talking about, giving them money, taking their programs and following people with tiny businesses. And then they go backwards. We just welcome them back with open arms, no judgment. We simply say, you know what? Reactivate your membership, get in momentum. Within months, we'll help you turn your business around. We'll help you grow past wherever you're stuck. So there's no judgments. There's no judgments, but I am telling you, this is the #1 best system in the world for operating a maid service. And you can put me on stage without giving me a heads up on the questions. And I promise you, I will win the debate with any other residential cleaning business owner or guru who has a different model than this one. I will win the debate as to why this is better. In fact, I know several that used the pandemic to finally ditch the traditional model that everyone in our industry is using, pretty much. When I say everyone in our industry I'm saying there are about 3 to 4 things that everyone does, 1 or 2 of them in our industry. I do none of them. And we teach none of them. Sure. Traditional models might use some of the models that are included, but none of them follow the 6 core principles that I teach. None of them, unless they took CBF. And I would sit on stage on a panel and I will debate the merits of this system with anybody. And I guarantee you I'll win that debate. You may be thinking, dang, she's arrogant. I might be a little bit. I don't mean to be. I am passionate about helping people. I am passionate about helping people. And I am attracting coaches who are passionate about helping people. I just spent 3 full days with our elite members, and I thought to myself, there are so many people in this room that will be our next CBF coaches. And I'm already getting to know several people inside our CBF Pro group that they should be CBF coaches. Why? Because I see their heart for others. I don't see them with their hand out going, I want to sell stuff to your members. Will you let me? No, I see their heart open because they just want to help and serve other people. And then they can make a fantastic income as a CBF coach. But the thing that's unique about my coaching program is I will not hire coaches with tiny broken businesses to coach you. I think that's a ripoff. I will not hire coaches with tiny businesses that claim it's not broken. How can they help you become a big business? And anybody that tells you they intentionally want to have a tiny business is only telling you that because they don't know how to grow a big one without giving up their time freedom. Because there's only one reason for you to be in business, is to have time and money freedom. That's it. That's the only reason to be in business, to have time and money freedom. And if you have one without the other, it's a crappy business. Some of you are like, well, I'll be happy with just the money. No, you wouldn't. If you made a lot of money, but your business was so broken, you have no time, it's not worth it. And it won't be long before you want to do something else, or vice versa. Well, that's why I keep my business tiny, because I don't want to give up my freedom. Well, you don't have to give up your time freedom. You can actually create time freedom with the right system and the right structure. And so I won't hire coaches with tiny, broken businesses and tell everybody their businesses are tiny, but they can help you grow a big one. I won't. And my most respected colleagues in this industry that are maybe you would call competitors with me, they won't do it either. They won't do it either. I have several respected colleagues in this industry that I love dearly. They aren't going to do that either. They will not bring people with tiny broken businesses into their group to help them with coaching and teaching and training. Right? So I know I've gone to preaching now, so I will stop. Sarah says, I'd love info on Elite. Oh, Sarah, you would fit so well. So what's really cool, Sarah, about the Elite group, I'm sorry if I should have seen that earlier. The Elite group is an experiment because I like to stretch the needle. The Elite group is the first time I've ever allowed people to go into my progression program, my ascension program, that did not come through CBF. So it's a little scary. It's scary for all of us. But we know in our heart that if your business is at $1.5 million, you have something amazing to bring to the table. You see, when I'm in my Elite group, as I was the last 3 days, the most intensive training you will ever go through at this level. Now, the training we went through the last 3 days would be completely useless if your business is not at $1.5 million. I would not put my pros through this. And I'm not going to say completely useless. That's an incorrect statement. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say mostly you could not implement what you learned because you don't know the application that's residential cleaning business specific. Even some of our elites occasionally would go off the rails and go, oh, we should do this, this, this. I'm like, no, that doesn't apply to this industry, right? And so part of the challenge that people have when they take non-industry specific training, it doesn't solve their problems because they have no idea how to apply it, right? It's kind of like we have a disc expert, our expert, and there's several people that are amazing disc experts. I know Liz Trotter is. I have tons of respect for her. There are others that are out there. You have people in your own community, at your Chamber of Commerce. They are disc experts. But we wouldn't use disc inside our program unless Art had come through our CBF program several years so that he knows how to help people apply it specifically in their maid service. Otherwise, you won't know what to do with the information, right? And so we went through this very intense training, back to you, Sarah, that you would totally be able to benefit from because your business, I think you're saying if you would qualify for the Elite group, you're at $1.5 million. Sarah. So I don't know your business that well. I've heard that it's amazing and that you are an advanced leader. And I've wanted to get to know you on a personal level just because I admire you and your kids are adorable. But it's an experiment for us to have for our first year to allow non-CBF members to join Elite. Why? Because I know if your business is at $1.5 million, you're not really trying to fix your broken foundation. Now, if you are able to use some of the CBF way systems to fix some of the things you're not happy with, great. But you wouldn't be coming into our group going, now, how do you get people to stop quitting? I mean, we've answered that question ages ago. How do you get customers to pay what you're worth? You've already answered those questions. So that's why for the first time, we've allowed non-CBF members to join Elite. And to answer your question, Sarah, if you'll private message me your phone number, we can set up a time to talk. It is not too late for you to join our Elite. We are about to close the open enrollment, but we decided through the end of October, anybody with a $1.5 million residential heavy business can join CBF Elite. You will get all of the CBF tools and formulas. I always encourage people to go through it and pick up the stuff that you'll turn into $100,000. You don't need it all. Your business isn't broken like most people's, but one or two things you pick up, you'll turn it into $100,000 in a year. You will. And so, yes, Sarah, we would love to talk with you and just see if we're a good fit. You might decide you're not a good fit. I might decide you're not a good fit, but I've heard great things about you. And we're always looking for advanced leaders, because I'm telling you, if I had the right people, without diluting my standards of I only want successful business owners to become our successful CBF coaches, I believe over the next 5 years, I could have 100 coaches working for me, 100, making a difference in thousands of lives instead of just hundreds of lives, which we are making a difference in hundreds of lives. But imagine if we had 100 CBF coaches, number one, earning a good living as a coach. Number two, still running an incredible cleaning business that provides passive income now instead of owner operated income, which is not a bad gig, right? I'm not knocking it. I did it for 25 plus years. But imagine 100 coaches serving thousands of cleaning business owners. My motto then could finally be realized. My dream and my vision could finally be realized. I want to stamp out cleaning business owner poverty, because that's the little known secret of most cleaning business owners, that if they had to live on what their business profits, they'd qualify for food stamps. Most. So I want to stamp that out, and I can't do that by myself. I need an army of well-trained, emotionally mature, tactically successful cleaning business owners. My vision for the future is so big, it would scare you guys. It's so big, it would scare you guys. I'm ready to not be leading CBF Essentials, but I need an army of cleaning business owners who are so successful they can now afford the time freedom to devote to being a cleaning business coach. And some of you should be in my program. And some of you will be there in the next 2 to 5 years. And I will tell you, you can 10x whatever you make today as a coach. And it's the most rewarding thing you do. I'm going to leave it at that. So I have a method to my madness. There's a reason why I want people to go through this progression, come through Essentials. We have people that join Essentials at the $1 million level. I have a company right now that's well into multiple $1 million that are so sick of the chaos and the broken pieces. Multiple $1 million. These people aren't failures. Every one of you would look up to them. But they're going through CBF Essentials right now because they are sick of the things that are broken. They don't have to change any of the stuff they're happy with, but they are sick of the things that are broken. And we have the most magical unicorn formula for improving the operations, the profitability, the ease of scale, the pace of growth, and the time freedom journey over any other cleaning business model I have ever seen. And I have examined hundreds and hundreds of cleaning business owner businesses. And all of you do business the same way within 2 to 3 change points. All of you, unless you've been through CBF. So some of you are like, how do I get in the CBF? Well, first of all, just reach out to one of these CBF members right here. Don't take my word for it. Private message them. Some of those that have typed in the comments have said, I love CBF. I 10x my results. I doubled, I tripled. I'm finally mop free. I'm a mop free millionaire. I'm finally in the pros. I'm finally in the elites. Private message them. And feel free to ask how much, because those people that say how much, you're not ready, right? If you had cancer, you would never say to your doctor how much, right? But if you have a hangnail, you might say how much to repair it, right? So But you can private message people. Now, don't ask them publicly. It's kind of like somebody asking you in public, how much did you pay for your car? You want to say none of your business. And we all paid different prices for our car. Some of us got leather interior. Some of us went with the cloth. Some of us got the heated seats and the sunroof. Some of us forewent that. And we paid less. So don't ask people in public how much. That's rude. But you can private message them and say, what kind of an investment am I going to have to make? And then instead of saying, oh, I can't afford that, here's what you need to say. I can't afford not to. What do I need to do to make it happen? Let me tell you something. CBF is so much more affordable than people think. If you can put $2,400 down and make $499 a month payments, you can join CBF. It has a rumor that it's expensive, but it's not. What's expensive is going another year, doing it wrong, and not making the kind of money you could have. That's expensive. So Caitlin says CBF works. I like your concise dialogue there. CBF works. And I guarantee you, Caitlin's probably tried other things and they didn't work. Random advice will not change your life, but a system that's been proven will. Do you want to make things a tiny bit better, or do you want to change your life and your family's life forever? Danielle says, mop free, 5 times, 5x'd my company in a little over a year. Did you hear that, guys? Danielle 5x'd her company in 12 months. I never promise that'll happen. I don't promise it, but I see it all the time. I'm scared to promise it because I don't want anybody mad at me, but I see it all the time. I see people my sister started her business from nothing. And she said, I'm going to tell you right now, I want a lifestyle business. I only want to work part-time because I have a house on the beach and I like to spend 50% of my time on vacation. Can I build a cleaning business that's successful? And I said, you can, but there's only one way you can do it. Only one way. It's the CBF way. You have to join like everybody else. You have to show up for every call. You have to do the work. You have to follow my system. Don't question it. Don't change it. Come to my conferences. And if you do that, you'll be successful. And she said, I'm all in. My sister, she's on that pro list, guys. Her name is Lisa Siciliano and her spouse, her partner, Glenn Edens. The two of them are a power team. Do you want to know how many years it took them to get $1 million business when they are on vacation 50% of the time? She stood on my stage last April and she shared with a room of, what do we have, 400 people in that room? She shared with 400 people she had taken 30 vacations that past year. In less than 5 years, on vacation half the time, I live vicariously through my sister. Her and Glenn are at $1 million. Is that insane? I would never have promised that to any of you if you had asked me. I'm like, well, it can be done and I've seen it done, but I'm not going to promise you that. I wouldn't, but they did it. Why? Because they didn't change anything. They didn't take my system and go, well, I don't agree with that, but I do agree with that. So I'll do this, but not that. No. They were like, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. A couple of times they tried to change things and they went backwards. And I said, I told you, don't change it. Follow it like it is. It works. Now that's building a business from the ground up. If your business is doing $1.5 million, you don't have to build it from the ground up. You've already built something significant. All you need to do is tweak a few things that are stinking broken and your life will dramatically improve overnight and your profits just might skyrocket overnight. Can't guarantee that if you don't abandon your unprofitable model. Susie says, Susie's what we call a unicorn. She tells everybody she knows about CBF, and I do not pay her. She is not a paid spokesperson. But I will tell you, she's an amazing person, and we do treat her like the unicorn she is. I'm just going to tell you that. But here's what Susie says, and she doesn't do it for that. She says, I joined and so many others didn't listen and they are still stuck where they were a year and a half ago. They are still struggling, trying to figure it out. It is so true, Susie. Here's the thing. Until a person kind of reaches that mental rock bottom, they're going to keep saying, oh, I'll figure it out. I can save myself the money. You're not saving yourself money. You're costing yourself a fortune because time is priceless. The year and a half that you've, I think Susie is one of those people that probably 5x'd her business, maybe 10x, but probably has 5x'd, right? The year and a half, all the money Susie has made, all the cleaning she doesn't do, the beautiful office and the incredible staff she finally has, she wouldn't trade that for a 5 times return, a 5 times refund. I know she wouldn't. And she tells everybody she knows. It works like nothing I've ever seen. Thank you for saying that. Let's see who else I missed. I need to sign off because I do have an appointment in 5 minutes with somebody. I don't know who she is, but I told her I'd talk to her on Saturday because she's busy during the week. Somebody desperately needs it. And I told her, I'll talk to you on a Saturday. That's why I told my husband, I'm working today. And it'll be interesting to see if she's one of those people that says, oh, I can't afford it. Or if she's one of those people that says, wow, I can't afford not to do it. Because it's only in your head if you can't afford it. Only in your head. If you got cancer tomorrow and had to come up with $2,400 for the cure tomorrow, you would. You would. Don't tell me you wouldn't. So let's see a couple more comments here. Tether says, I spent the last dollar I had to my name, and now I can buy without looking at my bank account. I'm so happy to be a pro. Tether, I got chill bumps reading that. Tether has got the most beautiful story, and Tether deserves this because she has worked hard to get everything she's achieved. And Tether, your mind will be blown at how much more advanced you will become just by being in the pros, just by being more intimate with more advanced thinkers. You'll be surprised at what you do in the next 12 months. And I can't wait to be a part of that. It's just such an honor. Erica says, feel free to message me. I was in tears when I started CBF, and now I am motivated and constantly growing. Thank you, Erica. So many people are in tears when they talk to me, but then so many people say, I wish I could afford it, instead of, how am I going to afford this? That's what I had to say. I didn't say, ugh, I wish I could afford that $40,000 for my training. No, I said, oh my gosh, how am I going to do it? I am going to do it, but how? And I did it. Danielle says, oh, I already read hers. Let's see here. Anybody else? I just don't want to miss anybody. Oh, Danielle says, fun fact, I have that same buffalo photo. Woohoo, Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. I snatch them up everywhere I go. So excited for this one step. So excited for you too, Danielle. Erica says, CBF has helped my business and me personally. I plan to be a part of the pros group next year. Erica, I believe you will be in the pros group next year. I haven't even begun to tell the stories of people who said CBF saved their life in terms of becoming sober, or saving their marriage, or saving their relationship with their children because their business took first place over everything in their life. I haven't even begun to tell you those stories. They're not always my story to tell. CBF will change your life. It's changing mine as we speak. That's Stacy Vega. That's so beautiful. Sarah, please reach out to me. I'll just give you my cell phone and we can chat. All right, Crystal. Okay, I think that's it. I got to go because I've got 2 minutes to take a quick break and jump on this call. For those of you people of faith, say a little prayer for this gal on the call. I don't know what her need is. I don't know what her problem is. I don't know what brought her to this point in her life where she's like, I need help. But pray for her that she is not another one of those people that says, oh, I wish I could afford this. I thought it would be cheaper. Seriously? Seriously? So let's hope she doesn't say that. I don't even know who she is. I haven't even looked at her name. All right, guys. So I'm going to sound off. Please congratulate our CBF elites, our CBF pros. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I'm also proud of my CBF Essentials and our CBF Momentum members. You are fixing your business and moving forward and making progress. And that's all we need is progress, because with progress, there's hope. And with hope, there's motivation. And with motivation, there's follow through. Without motivation, there's no follow through. And there is no motivation without hope. And there is no hope without progress. And that's why people flatline. Let us help you. You can go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com, or you can just say, I've already made up my mind, Debbie, just sign me up. And you won't have to be pre-screened. All right, guys, take care. Mary Beth, congratulations. Your name was read on the list. I just saw you on here for the first time, so make sure you watch the replay. I know I was a bit long-winded, but we just read the congratulation list of all of those that made CBF Pros 2023 and CBF Elites 2023, our new CBF Pro Buffaloes and our new CBF Buffalites. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. What's rest of it? Crush it. God bless.